One of the things though that's coming up for me, Philip, as we talk about establishing your voice, is that I can imagine some people out there saying like, I just don't want to do content. I don't want to put myself out there in that way. And I'm curious if you could share, because both of us, right? I think we enjoy creating content
Hmm.
and I think we naturally go there, but I don't know if that's exactly why. It might be the reason why I have always created content, but I'm not sure if that's why you created content. And I'm wondering about like what actually really pulled you, because we've talked about this throughout the episodes, really like this importance of starting to build your personal brand. And I think we see this element of establishing your voice as being part of that. And yet I can still see people being a little resistant to this. And I think it starts to build actually into this marketing concept that we were going to talk about, and marketing as an independent. And I know that my personal belief as I listen to more people in this small business space and, is that you don't have to be on social media to build your business. There's a lot of different ways to build your business, right? And yet, I also still think it's important to have some type of point of view, right? And start to establish some degree of expertise. And most of, it really does depend what type of business you're starting and if you're doing B2B or if you're doing B2C, right? And how you show up on these different platforms and the type of content is going to be dependent on your business model, of course. But I'm curious for you, because I don't know if when you first came out, if you would have said like, oh my gosh, I have to establish a voice. So what made you choose that path over a different path previously? I know you said in a prior episode that you said, well, I wanted to work with entrepreneurs and small business owners, and I realized my network wasn't going to get me there.
Right.
So I came up with another way to reach those individuals. So
Yeah.
can you say a little bit about like, well, what really made you finally kind of be like, this is a space that I really makes me kind of uncomfortable, actually, because it makes all of us uncomfortable to put our voice out. But you're like, I got to just go do it.
Yeah. The reason why I did it, and I described this, I think, in a previous episode, the reason why I started developing content is because I was very uncomfortable networking with people and pitching them, even soft pitching them in emails. And I also did not have a network of small to medium-sized businesses or entrepreneurs that I could pitch. So everything I was going to do was going to be cold. And that made me really uncomfortable. And so I knew that I had to show people that I knew my stuff. I had to show people that I had something valuable to them that would help build their brands and build their businesses. So what I had to do was I had to visibly put out there in a public way what I knew and what that stuff that I knew had value and impact on businesses. And so I started with a newsletter, and I started with 50 people, 20 people, and I published a newsletter every 2 weeks where I shared a kind of a blog thought piece and some resources and some curated videos and some curated podcasts and some curated books and things like that, and just tried to show people that I had a point of view and that I was keyed into this space. And that's where I started. And then when I started my YouTube channel 6 months later, I said, hey, okay, so my target is small to medium-sized businesses and entrepreneurs. And I have kind of an overlapping Venn diagram with creative professionals. I'm going to share everything I know about design, branding, brand strategy, marketing. And my mission was that I was going to take these Fortune 100 global agency processes and scale them down to a manageable way so these small to medium-sized businesses could use those processes to benefit their business when they didn't have $200,000 to pay landlord to do it. And so that's what I started to do. I started to put out content that was like really brass tacks about these are the tools, these are the processes, this is what you do, this is how it affects your business, this is why you need to do it. And I just started to share really like how-tos about how this stuff worked, because I knew that if I shared the value, people would say, hey, this guy Philip kind of knows what he's talking about, and I like his vibe, I like the way he communicates. I'm going to reach out to him and see if he can help me with my branding. And so it was attraction marketing, it was pure content marketing, and that's why I did it. I did it because I was not a business development gregarious type of person, but I had a lot of knowledge that I knew was going to be valuable to people, and I had to start putting it out there as an attraction. And it worked.